Now, one of the other things that you can do is uh, this one's showing the inside workings of a large engine. So you can add information about complex machinery and workings and animations. And somebody wants, and once again, we have the famous AR Toolkit marker. If people use this because it's cheap and it's robust, and that's why that's why people are enthusiastic about using this. Now, what this allows you to do, which is an interesting thing, and I don't know if you can. So if you can see, so what happens is if I want to rotate something, I just have to rotate this piece of paper, and then the 3D object will rotate in front of me. And then if I want to look at a different angle, I just move it around. And what this allows me to do is to very easily manipulate the 3D object. And I don't know if anybody's used things like Studio Max or VRML viewers, but it's very unintuitive to do 6-degree of freedom manipulation with basically a 2D device, which is a mouse. The other thing which happens with this is, if you can see on this barcode here, well, there's a square version of this barcode that you've seen. This same tracking can be done on that barcode. And so what you can do is you can take a snap of the barcode, gives you an idea of what it is, and then you can pop up whatever visualization that you have on it. Okay, what's Wendy, could you tell me what you're doing?
Wendy, if you'd like to speak, if you're on a PC, just hold down the control key and you'll be able to speak. Sorry, assuming you've got headphones and a microphone.
So Wendy, are you looking at using AR for surgical training? Yeah, there's a large amount of work that's being done at the Technology University of Munich on the use in operating theaters. I think it's a great place to use AR because it's a constrained space. It already has a lot of technology in there, so you can do Could you email me and then I'll chase that down? I don't have it right here. Okay, so the future, which is always people will come back and say, "Well, you said that 5 years ago, and it never happened." But let's see. I'll try to crystal ball. Okay, AR sensors and software technology is just going to be standard on existing mobile phones. It's kind of there now, but 5 years from now, it will just be there. When I talk to the people who are the handset manufacturers, you're basically going to have today's laptop on your phone within 3 or 4 years. Okay. Projectors, they're only going to get cheaper. I was at Officeworks and I saw this amazing projector that was about 10-15 centimeters by 10-15 centimeters by about 3 or 4 centimeters high. It was like $700, and it was just as bright as a normal projector. It was just amazing. So projectors are going to get very cheap. They're not particularly expensive now compared to what they used to be. They used to be $100,000, and now you can get a reasonable projector for $1,000 to $1,500, and they're only going to get cheaper. And once LED lamps are bright enough, then the lamps will just last forever. Mobile. Oh, thank you for that. Mobile devices are only going to get more powerful and cheaper. Graphic chipsets are getting just so much more computationally powerful. I predict in 10 to 15 years, your standard graphics card is going to make graphics that are so amazingly good, they'll be imperceptible from movie, and head-mounted displays are going to are just going to improve. They're right on the cusp of being almost good. The two problems with head-mounted displays from a social aspect is they're uncomfortable, and boy, do they look geeky. So as soon as they make a head-mounted display that looks like you want to be in public with them, I think they'll take off. And the second problem with them, which I'm not sure they're going to be able to solve, is the field of view problem. Okay, so we've seen a lot of interesting things. How does AR improve education? And so this is kind of the what I think we're here about. I think it just makes it more interactive. It's interesting when I mean, yes, I teach and yes, I'm an educator, but it's interesting when I talk to my son who's going to high school here. Basically, he never gets lectured at anymore, except for his history teacher. They just do worksheets and do experiments and things like this. And so they're moving to this, this more interactive. AR makes this possible for them to do sort of more complicated experiments, let them experiment with things and visualize things. I don't think it's going to be in every lesson, but I think it allows you to interact with things at a more intuitive manner. So, in particular in simulations, when I taught physics, I used to teach high school physics, and I would have to make these elaborate setups. And sometimes just the physicality of the setups makes it interesting, but sometimes you just would like to just say, well, I want to do this. And so the classic one is ballistic testing. So it would be nice if you could just do this visualization of ballistic testing, and that's how to, the angle that you shoot the gun and then where it's going to land, by just physically moving things, and then you'd have this virtual visualization of what you see. So it combines the physical nature of changing everything around with the virtual being able to shoot the gun. Did somebody have a question? Okay. Geotagging information for historical or cultural information. I think this is key. Not so well. You can use it for schools and things, but just the broader education of the public. So yes, I'm one of the guys that when they build the brass plaques, I actually go and read them because I'm interested in it. But it'd be interesting to read things about where they haven't been able to put a brass plaque. Annotating complex physical objects. So what's interesting is to be able to look at something and then be able to get information about something about it. And the nice thing about virtual information is you can have this virtual walkthrough. So if you wanted to explain something, you could just point out the different features and then put multimedia right on it and look at it. And I have Recreate, and I don't know why I have that. Yeah, it holds great promise for distant ed too, because in some strange way, being able to do this, it's a little bit like AR, but if we can direct people's attention to things and put artifacts in and be able to make it feel like we're both closer into the same room,